I just want to talk about certain things today because the autumn joint application is over, and I know that some of you will be moving here in January, and I really want to talk about this because I've been talking about it on my channel. Um, I made a video, I think 2 weeks ago, talking about, and I mentioned a situation where a lady was like, the Finnish government is not helping her. She needs accommodation, as in it's not a matter of she has applied for accommodation. Like she doesn't have enough money. She doesn't have the financial, strength to rent an apartment. And I was saying that the law is the law because um as an international student, you're supposed to have a certain amount. So that's what I call proof of funds. And I always talk about this either proof of funds or means of support here on my channel. When you go to Migri's website, that's one of the requirements for you to be able to move to Finland as an international student because the Finnish government is not responsible to cater for you or your family while you're studying here. So you're supposed to have this money in order for you to be able to pay for your rent, to pay for food, like just basic necessities. Um, but anyways, I'll talk more about that because they've started talking about this in the news and they are looking for ways to tackle it, which means maybe in the future, international students will be required to do prior to now, as an international student, you are supposed to renew your permit with proof of funds. So every year you have to show that money, okay, that you have this amount of money. But after the Sanna Marin, which was the then Prime Minister of Finland, she came up with this new law that international students just need to show proof of funds like during their first application. So after that, you don't need to show it again. But now the government is looking into like maybe international students need to show the proof of funds or means of support every year as they renew. Okay, and many more. But this is just because there've been like cases where foreign students need social assistance, and it was not supposed to be like that. So they are trying to investigate like what's going on. Anyways, before we dive into that news on Alien News, I just want to mention that the autumn joint application wasn't the best in numbers. There've been a great, like significant, okay, a significant decrease in the number of international applicants. This is from Study Info. And the reason is that due to the new application fee charged from international applicants. So not so many international students applied. I'm talking about international students outside the EU and the EEA. If you're here on my channel, I talk more to international students outside the EU and EEA. So that's why I use international students. But for this, I really want to make that clear. So I'm talking about students outside EU and EEA area. So there's been a drastic decrease. As per 2024, there were 44,900 applicants. So but during this application, like they just ended. So it was like 31% of these 44,900 applicants. Out of them, 31% of them were international applicants. And of these international applicants, 97% of them were from outside the EU, EEA. So 31%. But in 2025, international applicants they made up 12%, of whom 90% were from outside the EU and EEA area. So there's been a drop because as an international student, you need to pay the application fee of 100 euros. I knew this will come. I knew this will happen because paying €100 when you're not too sure of the application, or you're not too sure of the program you're applying to. You know, so most times you have to be sure that what I'm applying, the program or the university I'm applying to, it's like maybe 80% I will get in, because no one wants to just pay €100 and just apply for applying sake. But this was also one of the reasons why the application fee was introduced, because universities were spending money to go through them and also make decisions. So they were spending in that, like going through that process. So the goal was to ensure that any student applying is a potential student. So for you to pay €100, it means that you really want to study that program or in that university or in Finland, and you're sure that you have the requirements. Okay. So this is early news, and it reads: foreign students' need for social assistance rises sharply since last year. So this is something that has been ongoing and is still going, and the government and universities, and now that's the problem. If it's just the government, I will understand. The government and universities are considering new ways to tackle the issue. And I was really happy when, like, people have been talking about some of these consultants, like, promising heaven and earth to international students. And I'm always against this on my channel. I keep it way, I always tell you the way it is. It is not easy here in Finland. For you to move to Finland, make sure you have enough money. I always say it on my channel, and I'm not going to back out because I want views. Okay, make sure you have enough money, because it is not easy here in Finland. You need to have enough money that will cater for you or your family, if you're coming with your family, to study here in Finland. Because for you to get a job as an international student, it's not easy. Gone are those days where international students arrive and after 3 months, some even a month, they already have a job. No, like, that's why I always recommend you go to Yle News, try to read more about Finland before you move. You will see news about the current situation in Finland, and you'll be amazed. Okay, so that you will not just rely on a job that you are not even sure of having for your financial needs. You'll be able to have money with you that can cater for your needs in the first 6 months to 1 year. That's the plain truth. Okay, so according to the Social Insurance Institution, okay, the statistics show that more than €12 million in social assistance were paid to foreign language students during the first 8 months of this year. You can imagine, that's a lot. So that is close to the figure for all of last year. So €12.9 million was spent the whole of last year. But during the first 8 months of this year, €12 million, they have already been spent. And nearly 40% of students receiving financial support are foreign language speakers. Most students from abroad have been seeking food aid in various parts of the country. I talk about this also. Okay, and they mentioned the town of Vasa, all right, that Asian students make up about a third of breadline customers. So you can see the numbers are piling up. Okay, so now there's these allegations of fraud. So according to them, some students are using residence permit for purpose other than studying. So it may be that they just want to move, students just want to move here, for work, not actually for studies. And then they come here with their families. So it is possible for an international student to move here and then look for a job and then change their residence permit from student to work permit. You understand? So they are thinking this is a way that international students use to settle here and also bring their families. And they mentioned what I talk about, Sana Marie previously. I came up with this law. You just need to show your means of support when you apply for the first residence permit, and after that, you don't need to. So this is being criticized because if you become a full-time employee and discontinue your studies, then you are not eligible. Okay, you are not liable to pay fees. So, for example, if you move here as an international student and you manage to get a full-time job and you change your residence permit from student to work permit, and then you discontinue your studies, you're not eligible to pay tuition fees. Okay. That's as per Sana Marie. So now, what is the solution that they are seeking? Possible solution that schools are seeking. So one is they may reintroduce the law that states, like, as an international student, you must renew your permit yearly, and you must show means of support. That was what happened with me. Okay, when I moved here in 2014, you have to every year you need to renew your student's permit, and you need to have 6,700 euros in your account as means of support. And so that's one thing. And the other thing, it may be that even when you switch or you become like a full-time employee, you still have to pay fees, okay, to the university. So it's going to be tough. And this is what I don't like, because the innocent ones are going to suffer. Imagine you're struggling to raise money for fees, and now you also have to raise money to show as means of support. That's a lot. Okay. So that is why I always strive here that we do the right thing. We do the right thing. We do the right thing. Read about Finland. Don't just listen to what people are saying online. Go to Study Info. Go to Migris website. Go to Ile News. You'll be able to get first-hand information. You'll be able to know the truth. On my channel, I don't just sit and talk. If you've noticed, when it comes to stuff like this, I always go to the website and talk about it from there, because I don't want to mix things up. These are sensitive information. Okay. Go to Migri, you see information from there. Go to Ile News. Go to your university's website or your potential university website. Send email to the admissions office if you have any doubt. So the situation here is not good. International students are begging. You go to train stations, they're begging. It doesn't look good, seriously. So, and I had shared here about students being frustrated, because when you hear people telling you, come, it's so easy here, you get assistance. There is no assistance for international students. If you're coming outside of Finland, of EU, EEA, if you're outside, the Finnish government does not owe you any assistance, because it is stated there on Migris website that you need to show means of support. That is money that you use throughout your studies. That is what is stated there, because they are not going to give you any, like, money for rent. They don't do that yet. So please, before you move, read about Finland. Before you move, get the right information and be prepared.